At some point in life, you will notice something strange. The more you grow, the fewer people truly understand you. Conversations start to feel empty. Crowds begin to feel loud and exhausting. And slowly, without even realizing it, you start spending more time alone. Most people will tell you this is a problem. They will say you need more friends, more noise, more connection. But what if the opposite is true? What if loneliness is not a punishment, but a transformation? Because throughout history, the people who built the greatest ideas, the strongest empires, and the deepest philosophies all shared one thing in common. They walked through long periods of solitude. And in this video, you will discover why loneliness might not be your weakness, but your greatest hidden power.
The quiet room. The late hour. The world outside is asleep, but your mind is awake. This is where true work happens. This is where success is forged. We often mistake solitude for sadness. We see a person alone and assume they are lacking. But what if being alone is not a deficiency, but a strength? What if it's the very thing that allows some to achieve what others only dream of? This is about understanding that quiet space. It's about recognizing the power it holds. You might be surprised to learn what the most successful people already know about being alone. The solitary ascent. The climb is often a quiet affair. It begins not with fanfare, but with a subtle shift in focus. The world outside the chosen path begins to blur. Distractions, once vibrant and demanding, lose their luster. This is not a rejection of others, but a necessary redirection of energy. The successful often find themselves naturally withdrawing from the noise. They hear their own thoughts more clearly in the silence. This clarity is a tool, sharp and precise. Consider the artist in their studio, the writer at their desk, the programmer late into the night. They are not necessarily unhappy. They are engaged. Their work demands deep concentration, a state few can maintain amidst constant social interaction. This immersion is a form of chosen solitude. It allows for uninterrupted exploration of ideas. It permits the wrestling with complex problems without external judgment or interruption. This deep work is the bedrock of significant achievement. This solitary pursuit builds resilience. Each challenge faced alone forges a stronger inner core. Setbacks are not reasons to retreat to a crowd for comfort. They become lessons, absorbed and processed in quiet introspection. The individual learns to rely on their own judgment, their own capabilities. This self-reliance is not arrogance. It is the quiet confidence born from proven competence. It is the understanding that true progress often happens when you are the only one pushing. The path upward is rarely shared by many. It is a steep incline, requiring constant effort and unwavering dedication. The view from the top is breathtaking, but the journey there is often undertaken in isolation. This is not a tragedy. It is the natural consequence of pursuing a goal that demands everything. The quiet space allows for the necessary introspection, the self-correction, the relentless pursuit of mastery. It is in this space that true power is cultivated. The uninterrupted flow. Silence becomes a canvas. It is the space where thought can unfurl without interruption. The world outside demands constant engagement, a barrage of notifications and demands. This external noise fragments attention. It pulls focus in 1,000 directions, leaving little for deep concentration. Successful individuals often cultivate a deliberate solitude. This is not a state of sadness, but a strategic withdrawal. It is the deliberate creation of an environment for sustained mental work. Consider the artist in their studio, the writer at their desk before dawn. They are not necessarily avoiding people. They are protecting a precious resource, their undivided attention. This allows for a deep dive into complex problems. It permits the slow, meticulous construction of ideas. Without this undisturbed time, creativity withers. Productivity becomes a series of shallow tasks, never quite reaching their full potential. The uninterrupted flow is essential for meaningful creation. This ability to enter a state of deep focus is a cultivated skill. It requires setting boundaries. It means learning to say no to distractions. It is about recognizing that true progress often happens in quiet moments. The world may see this as isolation. In reality, it is a form of intense engagement with one's own work. It is a conscious decision to prioritize depth over breadth. This focused state allows for breakthroughs that are impossible amidst constant chatter. The individual who masters this uninterrupted flow gains a significant advantage. They can explore ideas thoroughly. They can refine their craft without external judgment. This sustained concentration leads to a higher quality of output. It fosters a unique understanding of their chosen field. It is a quiet power built on the foundation of deliberate, solitary work. This control over one's mental environment is a cornerstone of lasting achievement. Embracing the inner sanctum. The quiet hum of the city fades. Here, within the self-imposed walls, the world outside loses its urgency. It is a deliberate withdrawal, not an escape. This space is cultivated, a sanctuary built of thought and intention. It is where the noise of others' expectations becomes a distant murmur. Within this inner sanctum, focus sharpens. Distractions are not accidental, they are actively filtered out. This is the crucible where ideas are forged, unburdened by immediate judgment or the need for external validation. The mind works unhindered, exploring complex paths without the pressure of being understood by everyone. It is a space for deep, uninterrupted contemplation. Consider the artist in their studio, the writer at their desk in the late hours. They do not seek company. They seek communion with their craft. This solitude is not a void, it is a fertile ground. It allows for the patient unfolding of intricate plans, the meticulous refinement of a vision. Each decision made in this quiet space carries the weight of considered reflection, not fleeting impulse. This deliberate aloneness is a form of power. It is the power to observe without being observed, to think without interruption. It is the control of one's own mental landscape. When the world demands constant interaction, this withdrawal becomes a strategic advantage. It is the quiet strength of knowing oneself, and the deep well of resources that can only be accessed when the external clamor subsides. The forge of self-reliance. The world asks for your attention constantly. It pulls you in 1,000 directions. To build something lasting, you must first build yourself. This happens in quiet. It happens when you are alone. The forge of self-reliance is a solitary place. There are no cheering crowds. There is only the work. The hammer strikes the metal. Sparks fly. This is where character is shaped. This is where resilience is born. Many believe that success requires constant collaboration. They see a team as essential. But a strong individual is the foundation of any great team. This individual learned to rely on their own judgment. They tested their ideas in solitude. They refined their skills without external validation. This process can feel isolating. It can be misunderstood by others. They see the quiet as weakness. They mistake the lack of constant company for failure. Consider the craftsman. He spends hours alone with his tools. He understands the material. He knows its limits. He pushes them. He learns from every mistake. This deep focus is impossible when distracted. When surrounded by noise, the inner voice fades. The ability to hear that voice, to trust it, is crucial. It is the compass that guides difficult decisions. It is the engine that drives persistence. This forging is not about rejecting others. It is about mastering oneself first. It is about developing an internal strength that is independent. It is about knowing your own mind. It is about being comfortable with your own company. This inner sanctuary becomes a source of power. It allows you to engage with the world on your own terms. You bring a solid core to any interaction. You are not seeking external approval. You are offering your developed self. Navigating the social landscape. The crowded room hums. Laughter spills from groups. Conversations overlap, a chaotic symphony. He stands near the edge. Not invisible, but apart. Observing. The energy of the room is a current. He feels its pull, but does not swim in it. He watches the ebb and flow of connection. The quick smiles, the shared glances. The subtle shifts in posture as alliances form and dissolve. It is a complex dance. One he understands by watching, not by joining. He sees the performance. The practiced ease. The carefully chosen words. The way people mirror each other to build rapport. It's a skill. A necessary one for many. He notices the small gestures. The hand on an arm. The leaning in. The feigned interest that is often too obvious. He doesn't need these tools. His presence is enough. His quiet observation is a form of engagement, albeit a different kind. He absorbs the social dynamics without being consumed by them. Sometimes, a direct question is posed. A polite inquiry into his thoughts. He answers directly. No embellishment. No attempts to impress. The truth, simply stated. This directness can be disarming. It cuts through the usual social artifice. People often expect more. More performance. More validation. When it isn't offered, they sometimes retreat. Or they ask again, seeking the expected response. He simply repeats his truth, if necessary. This is not defiance. It is clarity. He understands the value of space. The physical space between people. The mental space. He grants it freely. He takes it when needed. This boundary is respected by few, but understood by those who matter. He navigates the social landscape not by fitting in, but by understanding its contours. He knows where the edges are. Where the currents are strongest. Where the quiet harbors lie. He chooses his path with deliberation. Not out of shyness, but out of purpose. He is present, but not entangled. He sees the whole picture. The power of focused introspection. The quiet hum of the empty room becomes a sanctuary. It is here, in the stillness, that thoughts can unfurl without interruption. This is the space for focused introspection, a deep dive into the self. It's not about escaping the world, but understanding it from within. Successful individuals often cultivate this internal landscape. They recognize that true clarity rarely arrives amidst a crowd. Instead, it emerges when the noise of external demands fades. A programmer staring at lines of code, a writer wrestling with a narrative, an artist contemplating a blank canvas, these are moments of intense, solitary focus. They are not merely working, they are excavating ideas, refining concepts, and forging connections that others miss. This deliberate solitude allows for a sustained examination of problems, a patient sifting through possibilities until the optimal path becomes clear. Consider the architect visualizing a building, not on a blueprint, but in the mind's eye. They walk through its halls, feel its light, and test its structural integrity before a single stone is laid. This mental rehearsal, this quiet dialogue with their own creation, is the essence of focused introspection. It's a process that demands patience and a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths about one's own thinking. The absence of immediate feedback from others forces a rigorous self-assessment. Mistakes are not points of embarrassment, but data to be analyzed. This internal exploration fosters a profound self-awareness. It allows for the identification of personal biases, the understanding of deep-seated motivations, and the honing of intuition. When one can reliably navigate the inner terrain, external challenges become less daunting. The ability to sit with uncertainty, to explore complex emotions, and to engage in honest self-critique without external validation is a formidable strength. It is a quiet power that shapes decisions and drives innovation, born from the deliberate embrace of solitude. Cultivating profound connections, when you choose to. True connection is a deliberate act. It is not found in the casual hum of a crowded room. It is built in quiet moments. It is forged when two minds meet, not by accident, but by design. Successful people understand this. They do not seek constant validation. They seek genuine understanding. This requires vulnerability. It requires the courage to show your true self. It means allowing another person to see the edges. It means letting them glimpse the shadows. This cultivation is an art. It is learned over time. It is refined through practice. Think of a sculptor working with stone. They chip away slowly. They reveal the form hidden within. So too, do we reveal ourselves. We reveal our inner landscape to a chosen few. These connections are not plentiful. They are precious. They are deep. They are the anchors in a chaotic world. They are the quiet conversations that echo long after they end. The choice to connect is powerful. It is about intention. It is about discerning who truly merits your energy. It is about recognizing that superficial interactions drain you. They leave you feeling hollow. Profound connections, however, replenish you. They offer a different kind of strength. They are a sanctuary. They are a space where you can be fully seen. And in that seeing, you find a different kind of power. This power is not in numbers. It is not in the breadth of your network. It is in the depth of a few select bonds. These are the relationships that withstand pressure. They are the ones that offer honest feedback. They are the ones that celebrate your triumphs without envy. They are the ones that sit with you in silence during your defeats. This conscious selection of connection is a rare skill. It is a mark of true self-possession. It is the quiet understanding that quality always trumps quantity. The quiet confidence of success. A quiet confidence emanates from those who are truly self-assured. It is not a loud declaration, but a steady presence. You see it in the way someone holds themselves when they are certain of their path. Their gaze is direct, unblinking, yet not aggressive. There is no need to prove anything. The evidence of their competence is already present in their actions, in their work, in the calm assurance that underpins their decisions. This inner conviction is built over time, through consistent effort and a deep understanding of one's own capabilities. It is the quiet knowledge that the ground beneath them is firm, not because others have affirmed it, but because they have tested it themselves. This internal strength allows for a unique kind of focus. When others are distracted by external validation or the opinions of the crowd, this quiet confidence directs attention inward. It prioritizes the task at hand, the problem to be solved, the creation to be brought forth. The successful person, comfortable in their solitude, is not seeking applause. They are seeking progress, refinement, mastery. They can sit with ambiguity, with the slow unfolding of complex ideas, without the immediate need for resolution or external commentary. This is where true innovation often germinates, in the undisturbed space of deep thought. Consider the artisan meticulously shaping clay, or the scientist poring over data long after others have left. Their commitment is to the craft, to the discovery, not to the audience. Their confidence is not a shield against doubt, but a quiet understanding that doubt is a natural part of the process, to be navigated, not avoided. They possess an inner compass, calibrated by experience and self-reflection. This allows them to make difficult choices, to remain steadfast when faced with resistance, because their internal validation system is robust. They trust their own judgment, forged in the crucible of experience. The quiet confidence of success is a subtle force. It is in the measured response, the thoughtful pause before speaking, the deliberate action. It is the absence of frantic energy, replaced by a deep well of calm. This is not to say there is no passion, rather, the passion is channeled, controlled, directed. It fuels the work, rather than consuming the individual. They are alone not out of social awkwardness or a lack of desire for connection, but because their internal world is rich enough to sustain them. Their focus is on building something meaningful, and that often requires a level of sustained, solitary attention that the noisy world rarely affords. The quiet hours are not empty. They are filled with clarity. This is where true strength is found. Not in the crowd, but in the self. When you embrace solitude, you gain focus. You understand your own mind. This is not weakness. This is a profound advantage. You see things others miss. You build what others only dream of. So, next time you find yourself alone, remember this. It is your time, your space, your power. Next time, we will explore how to manage the noise of the world without losing this precious inner quiet.